Hello, and welcome to Spotlight on Seniors. On today's show, we pop into Human Services, an event that took place at the Southfield Public Library. You know, Detroit is known as the Motor City. Well, Southfield is perhaps the city of walkers. And the city has its annual food giveaway at the Berg. We'll have all this and more today on Spotlight on Seniors. Hi, I'm Dick Powell, and today on Spotlight on Seniors, we're going to talk about a number of things, including the Southfield Senior Center, which is right over there. It's located on the ground floor of the Southfield Parks and Recreation Department, attached to City Hall. Up front is Office Manager Betty Simmons. Over there is the Director, Nicole Messina, and there is Kathy Freesia, Recreation Programmer for the City of Southfield. The Senior Center is both a hub of activity and a clearinghouse for senior-related information. In another part of the City Hall is the Human Services Department, a part of the Community Relations Office. Rhonda Terry is Office Coordinator for Southfield Human Services Department and has initiated many programs to benefit the residents of Southfield. Southfield's Human Services mission is to help people, not a handout, but a hand up when residents are experiencing hardships.
Today, Human Services, we partner with Oakland Livingston Human Services Department, and 4 times a year I distribute non-perishable food to our Southfield residents. We're at the Berg Historical Park. It's a beautiful location to distribute the food. People don't feel judged. It's a beautiful site. They come in, there's not a lot of people around. Some people have a problem coming to get food, but like I tell them, it's no big deal, it's just a bag of food. Well, the food, we pick up the food from gleaners. There's no cost to residents. All I need to see is their identification. And if they live in Oakland County, it doesn't matter their age, they can come and pick up a bag of food 4 times a year. The next date will be in December. It's very important for seniors. Sometimes their income is limited, and sometimes they have to decide if they want to buy food or pay for their prescriptions or medical bills. So an extra bag of food is very helpful to our residents. And we have enough food today for 96 families.
Many of Southfield's departments rely on volunteers, and the Human Services Department is no different.
Well, when I first moved here, the economy was going through some changes. People were living a little bit different, maybe a little bit better, but 20 years later, things have gotten a little bit more dismal. So folk need help. And so that's what I've really seen is not only Southfield, it's all communities, all even thriving communities. Folk need help, and that's what we do here. There are so many opportunities. All they have to do is get engaged and get involved. They don't even have to wait for someone to ask them. Just go to a department that you see that there's some things that you like and just say, how can I get involved? You're not getting paid for it, so people will always say, come on in. And that's why I do what I do. I just love getting involved and I love helping people. I think it's in my DNA. So it's very easy to do. You don't have to be afraid. Just go and do it.
The city wants residents to know that these are not handouts. This is a hand up. Something to help tide you over when times get a little bit rough.
Well, sometimes folk are shy because they have a lot of pride. They need the resources, but they really don't want people to know that they need them. It's just that they just feel that it's something private, and they don't really feel that they want to ask. They probably want to work for what they have, and they don't want what we used to call handouts. They don't mind getting a hand up, but they don't really want handouts. But they really need it. It just stretches what they normally already receive from wherever they receive it from. And it just gives them a little extra until the first of the month. Usually it is seniors that takes advantage of the programs, and sometimes it's other folk picking up for seniors. So the majority of folk that you may have seen today are seniors, but there's probably 10% of the population that will come in and they would say they're picking it up for someone else. And if they have their ID, we give it to them. Sometimes even if they don't, we just really feel the need. We don't turn people away. So if they say they need it, we give it to them. I really enjoy working with the Southfield Human Services because it is a department that really can get to the heart and the soul of human beings. And for those people who really need something, you can always go to Southfield Human Services and find out about their veterans program, find out about their food programs, find out about programs that really will help seniors. You know, I'm a senior. People don't think I am, but I am. And I feel that if I can do what I do as a senior, then I don't mind helping other seniors reach their goal as well. I'm glad to be a resident of Southfield because Southfield really has an open heart. We have many programs and many departments that really look out for seniors, that look out for children, that look out for those that may be underserved. And if you need resources, even though Southfield is a suburban city, we still look out for people who may not have as much as their neighbors. And we say, come on in, if we have it, we're more than welcome. You're more than welcome to it, and you're more than welcome to receive what we have.
To find out more about programs offered by the Human Services Department, you can call 248-796-4542. The Human Services Department recently held an event at the Southfield Public Library called Pop Into Human Services, and Spotlight on Seniors was there.
I met Josephine Jabara. She came to my office and she wanted to know if I was aware of World Medical Relief, and I told her yes, I had come to their grand opening and that I was aware of their services. So she said, how about we do something to let the community know about it? So I told her, well, we can make it happen. So I said, I decided to rent the library and to include Michigan Works and Chore and Blue Cross Blue Shield. And so she said, what's a catchy way to get people to come? I said, well, I can bring, cupcakes. She said, what about popcorn? And I said, that would be cute. She said, we can just say, pop in to meet the departments. So that's how it came about with the popcorn. And also Raymond James donated new and used clothing. They had a clothing drive and they donated some of the clothes to me. So I thought, what better way when I have a big crowd to have the clothes displayed on the table and people can take whatever they like for free. The theme today was more just pop in. We didn't want it to be too structured. It was basically just pop in, get some popcorn, sit down, watch a PowerPoint presentation at your leisure, walk around to the different tables and find out what services are available to residents.
Saw the little write-up in the newspaper and came over to see what Human Resources would offer as far as I was concerned. I did find one item. We're a little bit older, and it's a little hard to do housework in the house, such as doing the carpeting, vacuuming, and doing the floors. And I was just wondering if there was any sort of resource here that might accommodate us in cleaning, dusting, and so on and so forth. And I did find somebody. They did say that they did have facilities, but you had to call to find out, and that, of course, there again, you had to be probably of a certain, no, wait a minute, she said no, you didn't have to have any criteria as far as earnings. So all you had to do was call, and they would accommodate you.
World Medical Relief is the largest organization in Michigan that collects, sorts, and sends medical supplies all over the world to developing countries. And they have a special program to help people anywhere in Michigan who need but cannot afford necessary medical equipment and supplies.
I got involved with World Medical Relief in 1996 when I led a group from my church to an extremely impoverished area in the Dominican Republic. Not the kind of places that is advertised on Price is Right. You go, yeah, just all that kind of stuff. But where people are dirt poor. And so our host on there asked if we could bring some things like vitamins and other common over-the-counter items from any drugstore. So I went to World Medical Relief, unannounced, walked in, told them who I was, what I wanted, and they provided for like about 3 or 4 cents on the dollar. We had so much that we used Army duffel bags, and American Airlines gave us an opportunity to carry 3 duffel bags without charging us extra. The people down there were delighted.
World Medical Relief is not a faith-based organization and is open to anyone regardless of what faith they may or may not profess to be.
We are involved in more than 100 countries. We have served and continue to serve people who are Muslim, Hindu, Christian, you name it. Members of our board represent the 3 faiths I spoke of. And the key thing internationally is that if we're sending something, it must go to a hospital or clinic, usually a hospital, that is licensed in the receiving country.
Starting in 1953, World Medical Relief had warehouses in Detroit, but they outgrew that location and they moved here to Southfield about 2 years ago.
Well, we love being in Southfield, and it's not saying that we hate Detroit by any means, but we've found that since we moved here 2 years ago, we've almost doubled our number of volunteers. Still got room for many, many more.
World Medical Relief is looking for volunteers to help in a number of ways.
The volunteers could be of virtually any age from about 14 or 15 on up through senior citizens who might be 90 and above. The younger people do the sorting and packing. The older people usually sit at long tables and they punch out pills from these blister packs that you probably have seen that are like about yay big, and they each have an individual pill. Go pop, 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 pop the pills out, then they're sorted, and they can be reused as long as there's at least 6 months before expiration. Sometimes people bring me empty pill bottles, the bottles that carry prescription medicine. We can use those to go overseas. Then things like canes, crutches, wheelchairs. An individual might have had a hospital bed that belongs to them. Does not belong to Medicare, does not belong to Blue Cross or whatever. But as long as it belongs to them or another family member, then in most cases we can take those and send them to a developing country, and sometimes here locally. But that's one of the biggest requests we have from our overseas partners. They are desperate for hospital beds.
Most of what World Medical Relief does is medically related, but there is an exception.
It's medically related with one exception. We collect blankets and we provide them every year in November to help with homeless shelters. And we collect money for that, so that's outside of our normal scope. But basically, we're into medicines, medical supplies, primarily medical supplies. Other people deal with other things like the clothing and similar humanitarian issues.
To find out more about World Medical Relief or to volunteer, go to worldmedicalrelief.org to get more information. Southfield Michigan Works was also on hand at the Human Services event to make the community much more aware of programs and services that they provide, including training and workshops.
Southfield Michigan Works is one of 8 career centers in Oakland County. We have recently moved to our new location at 21415 Civic Center Drive in the old Mark Plaza building, which is now the Enterprise Center. We are part of the center of it all. We are now in a great new building, a great new space. Everything is modern and new. It's a wonderful opportunity for our customers to be in a business district as well as our employees as well. We have many of the same services and programs, hopefully stepping it up a notch.
Michigan Works provides its programs, services, workshops, and training to participants at no cost.
So tonight we are here to talk about our career assistance program, our workshops, all the different services and programs that we provide through our center at no cost. We have one-on-one assistance that's available to individuals who are job seekers, but we're also here for employers as well.
There are a few misconceptions that people have that may prevent them from taking advantage of the great services that Michigan Works has to offer.
Underemployed individuals are absolutely welcome to come in and utilize our services. I think that unfortunately, if you're employed, you think that you cannot take advantage of services with our center. And absolutely, anybody who is thinking of changing careers, someone who needs to find better employment, more hours, maybe they are lacking some skills in order to advance in their current job, and that's why they're underemployed. We would absolutely be able to talk with them and see what needs they might have and how to get to that next step. To start with, we would want to kind of find out what's going on with the individual, what they might need. So we'd ask some questions, we'd try to find out exactly what they might be in need of. Are they looking for full-time employment? How long have they been unemployed? Are there any needs that they might have in terms of training? Do they feel they have all the skills they need to be able to continue to look for work? Is there something else that they might need? Also, what other resources that we might be able to connect them to help them with other needs they may have. We would set them up with an appointment with an individual, one of our career planners who would assist them with develop a career plan, assist them with all of their job seeking and career needs.
Reaching out to Michigan Works is easy.
Well, they can absolutely go to the City of Southfield website. We have a page there. They can see all the different workshops that are provided. They can also come to our center and walk in. 21415 Civic Center Drive, Suite 116, and that's in Southfield. Regularly there are workshops for resume writing, interviewing, job search, and career transitions, kind of to figure out what you want to be when you grow up activities. So those are all available on that website.
Some people begin walking around the age of 24 months. Others start walking at 30 years and continue up until 90. Those are the Southfield Pavilion Walkers. This morning I ran, maybe walked would be a better word, into John Stallings, one of the Southfield Pavilion Walkers, during their second annual breakfast with seniors, and found out a bit more about them. John likes bringing people together. Group hugs and fellowship abounds from 30 to 91 years old. There's no set time or day. Some walk every day after dropping off the grandkids at school or whatever. No membership fee. You can buy a Southfield Pavilion Walker t-shirt or just show up and walk.
After I retired, I started walking at Northland, and this group, we got people go back 30 years walking at Northland. And when Northland closed, some of us came here, some went to Fairlane, some went out there on Lauren Park, and some go to Somerset. Start from 6 a.m. in the morning up to 8 o'clock at night. They walk all different time of day out here. Fits into also our babysitting schedule, because a lot of us get grands and great-grand to school and back. Just come in and start walking. They don't need permission from nobody. Just come in and start walking. We're having our second annual Christmas breakfast. We all paid for it. We pitched in. I got it catered in, and we pay per person. Yep. And I got 95 paid today. They show you how close we are. If somebody come up missing 1 or 2 days unexpected, they're gonna start asking about it. Always honor each other. If somebody have sickness, death, we're there with them. We have one young lady walk out here. She's probably in her 30s, but we got people up in their 80s, 70s, and the two that's 91. The lady, she walks around here about an hour and a half when she come. And Miller, he walks. You can't tell. They look like they can pass it for their 60s. They've been blessed. All the Walker, we are a very tight-knit family.
Queenie has a son and a daughter, 4 grandkids, and 1 great-grandchild.
I love walking with meeting and talking with the people, people we see I see every day. And nice, clean place, nice safe, and parking is nice, so I enjoy coming walking here.
The cold, snowy weather does bring walkers inside, and we wondered what the Southfield Pavilion Walkers might be doing if they weren't outside walking.
Probably cooking or working in the yards when the weather's nice. I like to work outside. I like to cook. My daughter, she's a caterer.
Okay.
She do catering, and I like to cook. Well, you know, it's not too many in my church. Maybe one while we had about 10 older people in their 80s, but a lot of them passed away. So we still have maybe about 4 people in their 90s. Now it's getting in the winter time. I'm still gonna try. It depends on the driving.
Okay.
I drive the expressway and how the weather is. Now the snow don't bother me, but when it gets slippery, I hardly ever drive unless I just have to go to the grocery store.
Mr. Miller is one of the older folk who participate with the Pavilion Walkers, and he's up there at around 90 plus years of age.
Well, I'm retired from the U.S. Postal Service. I worked up till I got 65 years old. I retired in 1991, so that's been about 26 years I've been retired, so I've been walking ever since. Well, I usually walk here every morning, Mondays through Friday. So I came out this morning because I want to fellowship and feast with the group. They tell me if you don't use it, you'll lose it. So I don't want to lose it. So I walk to try to stay in shape.
I get thrill out of it. I'm president of my block club. I was with the UAW International Union. I retired as assistant director, so I've been in a leadership role for years. So bringing people together, I get a thrill out of it.
Well, I'd like to remind our Southfield seniors that there are a number of resources available to help you figure out what's going on in this great city of ours. And the Scribe is one of them. The Scribe is available free on a quarterly basis and can be picked up in the senior center, or it can be mailed to your home. You can also read it online at cityofsouthfield.org. That's it for today for Spotlight on Seniors. There are many resources available. We hope that you'll take advantage of them. And again, Dick Powell says, thanks for watching. Happy holidays. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.